host, Namafaye, and this is your Frontier Opening Bell for this Friday, the 26th of April. And of course, this is how we come to the end of the final full market week in the month. And of course, next week we've just got a few more sessions, and then we're down to the start of May the 1st. In the meantime, just checking through a very nasty market week for the stock market in Cairo. The EGX 30 fell below the 23,000 or 26,000 level at 25,917, 3.21% in the red. On Thursday, the market will be reopening on Sunday. Then you've got the GSE fell by 0.25% on Friday with the on Thursday, I beg your pardon, today's Friday news coming through from yesterday till today on the BHP takeover bid, roughly $40 billion for Anglo-American. That's in the news. Let's get to that in about a minute or two. The NGX, the Nigerian exchange, up by 0.25%, the first green shoot since we started the week, 98,169. The PRVM up much stronger, 0.81%. On Thursday, the Ghana stock market saw a few notches, about 4 basis points in the green territory, the first since the start of the week for the market in Accra. The Nairobi stock market continued those gentle upside since we started the current week on Monday by about 0.11% on Thursday. Today's the final trading day of the week. Let's see how things moved on. The Semdex, that's the market in Mauritius, was better by 0.13% on Thursday. Those are your market numbers, just to look back yesterday and look into today. What's making the big headlines? Let's start, as always, from East and Central Africa, with the authorities in the president of Zambia, President Ichilema, is currently in Tanzania to meet with President Suluhu Hassan to, be part of the 60th anniversary of Tanzania as a sovereign country. They will also discuss bilateral trade and economic relations. It's a handshake between Southern Africa and East Africa, between President Ichilema and President Suluhu Hassan. We wish Tanzania hearty congratulations, 60th anniversary of the country's independence, and of course, so all that in the news. But of course, we've got to look at next week, starting Monday for 2 days, the IDA 21, that's the International Development Association. The Funding Replenishment Summit is going to have African leaders and their finance ministers around the table to submit their projects and whatever they're putting together, programs and initiatives to get the next round of funding from the IDA, a part of the program that was specially designed by the World Bank to support developing countries. It's the 21st edition of the replenishment, and we'll look to see what happens in Nairobi at this conference. We're covering that for you next week. In the meantime, Starlink, Elon Musk's technology, digital cyberspace, is offering about 56% discount in installation fees for Kenyans. I'm sure my team in production team in Kenya will be looking at how competitive that will be. Starlink jumps into the fray of providing internet gateway across a number of African economies. Somalia, good news, says it's rejigging or removing barriers to foreign portfolio investment, as well as investments of foreign capital into key projects for the country north or Horn of Africa. And Kenya is looking to receive $500 million investment from the United Arab Emirates, and this will go into various sectors. These are some of those headlines we have from East Africa. So let's get into Nigeria's and West Africa's headlines. Of course, the Naira is softening to 1,400 on the US dollar. The rally that we saw in January, February into March is now sort of decelerating for the local currencies, down roughly about 11% in the current week ending today. Access Bank shareholders at the extraordinary general meeting has approved a plan for a hybrid offer of about $1.5 billion banks in Nigeria have up to next week, the 30th of April, to submit their proposals to the central bank. The NGX Group will be holding its annual general meeting on Monday at about 11 o'clock in the morning. We're live streaming that for you on Frontier Africa Reports, by the way. Keep that in mind. And Delta Air says it's going to deploy a new Airbus in Accra from October the 27th. It's part of the expansion of airports that we're seeing across Africa. Of course, the Kumasi International Airport is expected to take off pretty soon in June in Accra. Kenya is also talking about building another airport, about $2 billion to support the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We got news also this week that Ethiopia is also looking at about $2.4 billion new airport, an upgrade of the current existing one, also in Addis Ababa. So we've seen these projects coming through around the commercial aviation sector in Africa. Star Times says it's gotten the broadcast right, at least for the next 5 seasons of the La Liga football fiesta. You can watch all of that on Star Times if you're a subscriber to that digital TV platform. Let's get on to see the headlines across Southern Africa as we start on today. In South Africa, we'll talk about President Ichilema, of course, moving on to visiting his counterpart in Tanzania for the country's independence anniversary. Zimbabwe is also says that Elon Musk Starlink has formally applied for an operating license in the country. The Postal and Telecommunications Authorities of Zimbabwe gave this announcement over the last 2 days. Anglo-American has rejected a $39 billion takeover bid from BHP Group. It is major news, of course, you heard in the last 24 hours. South Africa's minister in charge of mining, Matashe, says he wouldn't approve that offer. Anglo-American also came out with a statement from the CEO saying the offer was too weak to be accepted from BHP Group. So it's all on the streets right now. The shares of BHP went up on that news. Anglo-American also saw its share price on the upside. Whatever happens moving forward, it looks like this deal, BHP will have to come back to the table with a fresh offer for Anglo-American. And that's going to be a major deal on the table in South Africa's mining industry over the past several years. In the meantime, South Africa's Reserve Bank has floated a new deposit insurance corporation for bank customers in South Africa. At least you'll be entitled to an insurance for around 100,000 Rand of your deposit in South Africa. And that's a new horizon for a bank deposits protection program in South Africa. Tharisa Capital says the Karo Platinum project in Zimbabwe is on track. And Malawi has signed at least 2 deals with Israel in terms of a labor export for construction as well as agriculture sector in Israel. We'll see the details of that. Thousands of Malawians will be heading to Israel under the new deal for labor exchange. And those are your headlines from Southern Africa this Friday. Let me walk you through just a few headlines out of North Africa. It's been a very interesting week for the Rabat city in Morocco, hosting the France tour operators held a meeting in Morocco this week and looking to a further relationship between the two countries, between France and Morocco. In the meantime, the $3.5 billion Algeria-Qatari mega milk production has been fast forward with a couple of deals signed in the current week ending today. Egyptian stock market sank all through this week, mentioned that earlier, now down 3.21% for Thursday. Let's keep an eye on Cairo when it reopens on Sunday. And finally, Egypt's external debt was at about $168 billion at the end of last year. And that's according to the latest data from the Egypt's central bank. And those are your headlines this Friday, the 26th of April. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the weekend, everyone. See you back on Monday.